Hi there, my name is Sam from What the Hectagon Math Tutoring, and I'm here to present the answer to a question or a graphing question in Algebra 1 about the least integer function. So let's discuss what that is. So the least integer function is a function we might, first of all, just call f of x, but it's usually written with this symbol here where we have these little sort of upper square brackets over x. It's also known as the ceiling function. And what this tells us is this always outputs the least or the smallest integer that is greater than or equal to x. So if x is an integer, it's just going to spit out that integer. And if x is not an integer, it's going to say, 3.5. It's going to spit out the smallest integer that is greater than that number. So the ceiling in this case of 3.5 is 4. And we're being asked to graph this function for values of x that are greater than -2 and less than or equal to 6. So this is a very repetitive looking function because it sort of just is a step function. It jumps from one integer to the next quite seamlessly, or not seamlessly, but there is a jump between them. So let's just give ourselves, I'm going to use straight lines instead. That's a little ugly looking. So let's use perfectly straight lines instead. Since we're going from -2 to +6, maybe I'll draw that straight line there. So I will now indicate where the integers are. So there's -1, there's -2, there's 0 in the middle, there's 1, there's 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6. And we're only going to need to go down to -1, -2, and we're going to have to go up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So here's our y-axis vertical and our x-axis is horizontal. So again, what does the ceiling function tell us to do? It tells us to round up to the nearest integer above. So every integer is going to output itself. So 0 will output 0, 1 will output 1, 2 will output 2, 3 will output 3, 4 will output 4, 5 will output 5, 6 will output 6, -1 will output -1, and -2 will output -2. But what about all the stuff in between? So all the numbers that are between 5 and 6 are going to be rounded up to 6, except for 5, of course, right? So we want to put an open circle above where 5 is, but at the height of 6, because we don't want to accidentally indicate that 5 is being mapped to 6, 5 is being mapped to 5. So every number between 5 and 6 gets mapped to 6. Every number between 4 and 5 gets mapped to 5 because they're all being rounded up. Every number between 3 and 4 gets rounded up to 4. Every number between 2 and 3 gets rounded up to 3. Every number between 1 and 2 gets rounded up to 2. Every number between 0 and 1 gets rounded up to 1. Every number between -1 and 0 gets rounded up to 0. Every number between -2 and -1 gets rounded up to -1. Since we were supposed to stop at every number greater than -2, not including it, then I shouldn't include this little dot down here because that's where we're going to want to stop there. And so here is the final answer. This is the graph of the least integer function, also known as the ceiling function, from x is greater than -2 to x is less than 6. Thank you for watching.